Welcome back. In this video I'm gonna show how to do the provisioning and how to access an instance in Windows through the Mac operating system. As you can see now, I have logged in my Google account platform and I have some instances running and some instances are in a stop status. The instance in the green status is running. It has an external IP and it's RDP, which is the connection that is for the Windows operating systems. And also I have another instance that is in RDP, it is not in a running status, but we can start it. Since they are created in the Windows Server data center, it really takes some time for the instances to change the status. If the instances are not in the running status, then you cannot provision it. You can check even the status if they are running through pinging the IP, the external IP address. So for example, for the first instance is this one, and as you can see, the communication it works. So let's go back and we close it. And as you can see, the communication with this instance is running. We can try the other instance to ping. Is that when we try to change the status of the instances, we have to take in consideration that the instances to really fully running, it might take some times to start all the services and to be ready for the connection. So as you can see now, even the other instances is running, we can ping the external IP. And we terminate it. Before I start any kind of provisioning, I have just to show that before we try to provision Windows operating system, we have to make sure that we have installed the Microsoft Remote Desktop application. This application is free. You can get that from the Apple Store, and you can install in your operating system. If that is not it is not installed, then you might have problems to do the provisioning. We go back to the account and we can make it a little bigger, and we can see that now the two instances are running. If we go and click this option here, we have some kind of options that really helps out to do the provisioning. First, we download the RDP file. We can download it, make it a little smaller. When we download the RDP file, actually it is pre-installed a configuration of how to access your instance. You can do even step by step with the Microsoft Remote Desktop by filling out the form and putting all the information, or you just can download that RDP file that has already pre-installed some elements and you don't have to worry about that. Let's try it. Let's try again. Oh, okay, so we can run it, is this one here. And as you can see, in the moment that we run the RDP file that is in our downloads, we don't have to configure all the information that it requires when you do the Microsoft Remote Desktop. The only thing that requires is the password. The password for these instances, there are two ways how you can find the password, how to connect with the instance. The first one you can go to the first option, click it, and set a password. After you are connected, after you click that, it's going to give you a password. This is the password that allows you to connect with the instance. We copy and we go back here and we paste it, and after that we continue, and the connection is gonna be working. Meanwhile, the password, so it's gonna take some time until the connection, and here shows even the IP of the connection that we are provisioning. And we can see that is even the Microsoft Remote Desktop is the instance name and the IP address, this kind of specific information that you can identify your instance that you are provisioning, especially in the time that you are provisioning many instances. The IP address and this kind of information gives you some specification what kind of instance you are working. So we can make it smaller, and it's gonna take some time until the whole connection is completed, and it allows you to run the Windows operating system. So as you can see now, is running the operating system. And we wait a little bit until the login is finished. This password you can save somewhere and you can use it. So now we are inside the instance, and as you can see, the server manager application is running. If you want to make, you can make it smaller. Usually these instances, since the operating system is big and huge, they run slow. It is in your consideration if you want to start and stop, since it takes sometimes for the operating system to run in the moment that you start it. But depends on the usage of the server, you can decide how to manage it. So now the operating system is ready and you can start doing your work. With the password you can save it and you can use it in the other connection. The other thing about the password is that if you have a problem with the password, you can set a new one, and this is the way, which is very easy. Let's close this. The other way, as you can see here, there is even another way with G-Cloud to reset the password. I'm gonna try to provision the instance 5 with the other form, and we're gonna see that there is a little bit difference. But before executing the G-Cloud command to reset the password, we have to go to the terminal and we have to make sure that the G-Cloud is installed, or the Google Cloud SDK package. As you can see, the Google Cloud SDK is installed, and they are installed. They give you an information about the package, and now we can even run G-Cloud command. So for this instance, I'm not going to use the set Windows password, but I'm going to use the view G-Cloud command to reset it. So we open it, and it's a copy paste of we copy and we paste it, and we run. When is this coming? Okay, we don't have beta. There is one component. This is the beta compute. This is one component that is missing, so it's gonna install the component. Every component of in the G-Cloud packages, every component is responsible for a certain task and for certain jobs. So for this connection, since the beta is not installed, we can install it, and after the package and the component is installed, we can run normally the command. Yes, I want to reset the password. It's gonna take some time. Let's make it a little bigger. It's gonna take some time, but here we are. After the installation of the package, if you have not installed, then it's going to run automatically very shortly and it's going to give the information of your password. If the package is not installed, it's going to require you first to install the component and then to run the command. In this case, we have the username and here is the password. We go back to our account. We just close these and we go to RDP. We download the RDP file, or you can go even and run the application remote, Microsoft Remote Desktop, and fill out the IP, the username, and fill out the password. Or you can just download the RDP file, and here is the instance 5, sorry, and then we can copy the password from and paste it and continue. It's gonna take some time, especially since this operating system, this instance, it has been created recently and it might not be ready. There are two different instances that they run Windows Server. The first one was the Windows Server 2020, and this is 2019. So there are two different versions of the instances. In the moment that you are working and provisioning two different instances, you can, not to get confused while you are working, you can click in which instance you want to provision by just identifying the IP. So here we have the instance name and the IP, which is the specific information for that instance. And here is again the other instance with the IP. So the provisioning is done successfully with both methods, and depends on what kind of method you want to use. If you want to use the first one, it's going to take even longer, or if you want to use the second one, it's going to take even less time. Depends on your depends on which method is better for your work. So this is pretty much the steps that I have been doing, provisioning two instances at the same time and using the different options that they are in two different ways on provisioning the Windows operating systems.